and welcome to another video. In this video I'm going to be showing you my book journal. So I'm just going to be doing a little flip through, just showing you how I do it and what I've planned out for this year, like the spreads for 2023 basically. So I started this book journal. This is a bullet journal, by the way. I got this off Amazon. Did I get it off Amazon? No, I got it off eBay and it was only like $6.99, which is really good because it's a really nice feeling one. Nice quality pages. Yeah, it's got a little built-in bookmark, so I really like this. Anyway, so I started doing this around, I think it was October last year, so I've not been doing this for very long. So yeah, here is my first page, which just says reading journal, and this is the kind of writing I really like doing. I think it's just because it's easy to do, but it looks quite cool. So I just use some highlighters and then a pen to go over it. And then I've got a reading tracker here, which I need to actually fill in this little bit. So it's got October, November, December, because I started this in October, as I said, and then I just highlight it when I've read that day. So these were the only days during those months that I didn't actually read anything. And just each month is a different colour. And then here I've got books read. So each time I finished a book, I colour in a square, but this was for the whole year, not just from October onwards. So I did kind of colour in the ones that I'd read. Sort of caught up with it. So I read 90 books last year, which is the most I've ever read in a year, I think, so I was really pleased with that. And then I decided to do each month, I'd do a TBR here, and then when I'd read a book on the TBR, I would just colour in the square. It's the only one I didn't read this month, well, October, was The Push by Ashley Audrain, which I still have not read, and I do want to read it this year for sure. And then here I write down all the books that I've read and their ratings underneath. So they were all the books that I read that month and those ratings. And then I wasn't sure what I wanted to do for the spreads for each book. So I started off doing it like this. I do it differently now, but this is what I started off doing it like. So I cut out a little picture of the book cover to stick in. And then I've got these little stickers, which are from a girl on Etsy, and the account's called Read Around the Corner, I think. I will link it in the description below as well, so you can check them out. But they're just little stickers, and then I just colour in the stars for the star rating, and they're just really cute and easy, and it's just easier than drawing stars myself. And then I decided to write down how many pages the book had, format, so I read this one on Kindle, the genre that it is, and then what date that I read it. And then here I've just got a little bit of my opinion on the books. And then here again, so for Lady Midnight, I decided to do a whole page spread and write down some of the characters, and then my thoughts there. And then here I've got a couple more books, The XX and Kiss the Sky, and then I've just got some stickers that I put on to fill up some space. And then in November, I did the same thing here with the TBR and the book spread, but then here I decided to do the books I read like this. I could fit more on each page, which is what I do still do now, and I've got a different colour for each month. So obviously in November I chose blue, hence why this is blue and this is blue. So still sticking with these star rating stickers and still writing the pages, the format and all that kind of thing. And then thoughts, and I just write a brief thing about my thoughts on the book. So they were all the books I read that month. And then moving on to December, it's got my TBR, books read, and then just as I've done before with the books that I read. And I think these pages just look really cool, and it's just nice to see, like, oh yeah, I read these books that month. I don't know, you can just see it visually, and I quite like that. So that's what I do there. I print out these book things just off the internet, and I print them so they're 5 centimeters tall, and I feel like they fit perfectly in the book. And then here I've got my 2022 wrap up. I really did not know what I was doing with this page, so it just looks a bit random. So I just did a little pie chart with how many pages I read. I got that chart off Storygraph. And then my top 5 reads, top genres, most read authors, which I think I got those stats off Storygraph as well, and then just some other stats here. So how many pages I read, my average rating, how many books I own, how many Kindle books I own, and how many is in my entire TBR, which is 420 books. So like I read 100 books a year. That would take me over 4 years to get through. That is crazy. I probably won't ever get to all of the books, but I'm ambitious, let's just say that. And then here we go, start of 2023. So we've got reading tracker 2023 and then just a couple of stickers. And then for this spread, I've decided to do all the books I've read. So basically I drew out this bookshelf, and then when I've read a book, I write it in here, and then I highlight it in the colour of the star rating I gave it. So for 1 star, I do it in green, which I haven't got any yet. 2 star, I highlight it in yellow, which I have one here, which is The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. I didn't really enjoy that book, to be honest, so I don't really recommend it. And then 3 stars, I've got a few 3 stars, and 4 stars and 5 stars, quite a similar colour, which I probably shouldn't have done, but anyway, that's that. So that's all the books that I've read so far, or at least I have actually read a few books since that, but I haven't filled it out yet. And then here I've got this spread. Oh my gosh, can you hear my cat meowing? He's trying to come in the room because I've just locked him out so that he won't get in the way of me filming. I'll have to give him some attention in a minute. Yeah, I've got 23 books in 2023 challenge. So I've picked out 23 books that I would like to read this year, and then when I've read one of the books, I cross them off. I've also now read The Risk, which is the first book in the Mindfuck series. I have now read that, so I will be able to cross that off as well when I update this a little bit more. So I've already read 3 from this list, so I'm quite pleased with my progress on that so far. And then here I've got my reading tracker. So obviously it is the 25th today, so I need to fill in those. So for January I chose green, and then obviously each month I'll choose a different colour and I'll just highlight it if I've read that day, and if I haven't read that day I'll just put some black lines in it so that I haven't read anything that day. And then here I made this book bracket thing. This kind of layout wasn't my idea. I did find inspiration from this, I think, on someone on Instagram, I'm not entirely sure. But so each month, so this will be January, I would pick my top book from January and write it here, and then from February I'll pick write my favourite book of the month here, and then in this bit I will write what was my favourite out of those 2, and then do the same for each month. So my favourite book in March, favourite book in April, and then so on, and it gets limited down, and then here will be my favourite book of the year. And I think it's quite a good way to kind of figure out what your favourite book of the year actually was, so that'd be interesting. I just thought I'll give that a go. Obviously January's not over yet, which is why I haven't filled any of that out, but I've made the spread ready. And then my January reads, I decided not to do the TBR and the books read page that I did before, so instead of doing this page I've just cut that out because yeah, I couldn't really be bothered. So I just thought I'd just write down the books like this, like I had been doing, because I thought that worked really, really well. So that's all the books I've read in January so far. I've read quite a lot this month, actually. I'm really pleased with myself. And that is it. That is all that is in my journal so far. See, they were waiting outside the door. You just wanted some attention, didn't you? Yeah. This is my stationery drawer, and these are the stickers that I said about that have the star rating on, which I use. It looks like this, but I will link her Etsy page in the description below because I find these really, really useful. And then also randomly I use these stickers throughout, which are from the Ginger Cat company, and they're also on Etsy, so I'll link them in the description below. And they just do a variety of different sticker sheets, and I just find these handy for kind of filling up room in the journal. And then pen wise, I use these Stabilo pastel highlighters, so they're the ones that I use for most of the journal. And then I also use these pens, which are the Staedtler fine liners. And then for felt tips, I use these, which are the Staedtler Norris Club felt tips. And basically that's all I use for the journal. So I don't use a great load of supplies, but that's what I have and that's what I use. That is all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed the quick tour of my book journal, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!